Hello, good morning, gentlemen. How are you guys today? It's another rainy day in Seattle this morning.
Good morning, good morning. Yeah, same here. Rainy day.
Yes. Right.
I hope everyone's doing good.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a good weekend. Had a lot of time to really do the things I wanted to do, so that was fantastic, to be honest. Got a lot of work done. Got a lot more, trying to get a lot more balance this year. Apparently, last year I worked 309 days, so that comes out to one day off a week. I was just like, okay, some changes need to be made. Bored weekends.
Holy moly.
Yeah, that's not okay. Yeah, this weekend got a lot done. Yeah, it was a bit boring. I was on my computer most of the time and back testing. I mean, it was fun, but I mean, it wasn't going out or snowboarding, anything like that. All right. Today we're gonna go over Audacity and Audacity CAD as well. I'm gonna start calling some both signals on both these pairs, Audacity CAD and Audacity, and these are probably the most tame and probably my best FOREX pairs. And I've been trading them for a long time. But yeah, we're gonna start including these now in the week.
US cat been smooth lately.
Exactly, and like seeing it on Friday, how it just literally rejected right when I thought it was gonna break through, and I mean on the higher time frame it's been super clean. So yeah, definitely think we can start picking it up. Yes. That's what I just flipped to as well. The daily time frame. Yeah, it's been looking good lately, and Audacity, follows gold, except I really dropped the ball on Friday on gold. That was just I just had to simply wait just like 3 minutes and been like, oh yeah, this is definitely not a sell. But that was actually my first trade of the week, all week, so I was definitely a bit eager, and it was definitely the wrong decision to make. All right, first we'll go over the news and see if anyone jumps in first before we go to the analysis. But on daily effects here, what do we have to start the week? For tomorrow, we'll just start the next 7 days. We have Mexico inflation rates pre-New York session. We have Powell speaking on Tuesday, New York, slightly after New York open, so that should cause a lot of volatility. Wednesday, mortgage rates, Chinese inflation rates during Asia session. So CPI, core inflation rates on Thursday. Thursday's going to be a big day. Then we have GDP during London session on Thursday, or right before London open on Thursday, before Friday. And then Germany GDP as well. And then the Michigan consumer, what is that called exactly? University of Michigan consumer sentiment. Yeah, and on Forex Factory, it's basically the same news events. On Tuesday, we have Bank of Canada, Governor Macklem speaking. Bank of Japan, Karuta speaking. Then Powell speaking later. So Tuesday is going to be a really big day. Yeah, and Governor Macklem speaking both him and Karuta are speaking pre-New York session and during the crossover, slightly into London session before New York, so right at the crossover. There's going to be a lot of volatility Tuesday. Yeah, should be really interesting. Nothing going on Monday. There's literally nothing going on Monday, except for the Mexican inflation rates. But aside from that, there's literally nothing else going on. Monday should be solid, but the rest of this week is going to be very volatile. And next week too, but this week's about to be crazy. All right, let me remove all of these. I forgot to clean this up. And doing this back testing this weekend really helped, because even on NAS 100, did not execute right. And honestly, I could have set those left those limit orders that I had set, because right on the daily time frame, it got that reaction first on Friday. So that move left us on Thursday, went all the way down. Friday, it obviously shot up, but we could have left the limit orders right here at the 108, 80, and 109 right here on this bullish candle in the 4 hour. I'm going to put an ellipse. But we could have left the orders right here, and literally where I said to take buys right at this retest area, and it failed to push higher right here. I'll go to lower time frame. But where I had the limit order set originally for those NAS 100 sells was right here where this ellipse is. So we could have left it. It came back to retest, failed to make a lower low point. But this would have been a really nice trade. As you can see, it wasn't a buy quite yet. It had to come down and do a full retrace, which that is what it is. It did take buys off the retest, the perfect retest area, and it did push up a good amount. But this is where I'm always like, don't fixate on take profit, because one, we just lost those gold trades, and then two, this was like a 30 to 50 point move on the NASDAQ before it rejected, so it really needed to come down to better trade management, and just went break even on that before it broke lower, and then could have took it again down here and caught the whole move. We missed that, but we really could have just left the limit orders though, because as you can see, once they hit, that move came through before making a higher low and taking off. So, and I think that's why this bearish volume came in. There's a lot of orders set here still trying to catch the retest. Well, on the daily, it was a retest at the time until, it came down and then obviously broke higher and closed bullish. But all right, so for this week coming up, we're gonna make some better decisions, be a little more slower to making some decisions, and waiting a little bit longer for the entry points, because I am definitely seeing a lot of these moves that we're just mis-executing on them, or just getting in too early. And on gold on Friday, just the wrong direction entirely, even though it was a very nice breakout trade. All right, on the weekly time frame on NAS 100, we can see a strong bullish candle close with multiple wick rejections. This is very clear that we're just going to continue higher next week or throughout the week. On the daily time frame, same thing, strong bullish engulfing candle, broke structure right here where this blue line is, right here. This is higher time frame structure. This could be an SMC trap, but right here is the most important. We failed to break the weekly high. Was this the high of the, yeah, so this is the high of the week last week. We did not break that, so it looks like we're going to come back and make a pullback somewhere, a retest, a higher low somewhere, most likely right in this area where the blue line and the zone is. If not, we may come down to 108, 109, 108.50 right in here. And on the daily time frame, you can really clearly see that here. You can illustrate that with an arrow. This might be a reaction, might be a continuation spot, but if not, there's going to be another point most likely down here. This would be a really good area where price failed to make that new high right here and come down, make a higher low right on that same area of resistance. Now turn support. This would be a really good spot. 109, 108.50 right here. I'm going to draw it as a zone. And on the daily time frame to the right, you can see how that lines up very nicely. Oh, let me fix this. All right, we'll leave it. Yeah, should tap right. It might go a little lower to 108. We get another full retrace, but this right here has some confluence for a good continuation move. The heck happened to the chat? Let me zoom out. Oh, there we go. 820 area. Yeah, I think it will go a little lower than this. I've been close onto the moves, but just like a little off. So I need to expect the extreme. So yeah, right in here then. Right in this little spot. It's going to be the sweet spot. Yeah, on the daily, it just looks clear as day on the daily time frame. Yeah, this would be a good real setup, or really nice good setup. And to find some extension targets for the overall move, you can put the fibs on this, on the measuring the daily candle, and then we can see 11120, 1120, 1198 is what it says, but it's at 1120 right here. And then the following negative 61.8 is above here, above this previous level of structure based on the daily time frame right here, previous lower high point. So we're going to definitely break above this area. There's going to be some sells up here most likely that we can kind of catch for a reaction, but the move is going to go up to 112 to 1135, possibly 114. But we're going to see a nice 200 to 300 point move on the Nasdaq, possibly Monday. Yeah, this is 450 from this entry point, and this would be 300 points from the entry point we're looking at, the point of interest we're looking at. So this is a really good trade setup. I'm not sure when it will happen, but Tuesday could be good. Since we have all that news, Tuesday might be what drives it higher. But Mondays are extensions of the week, so we really might just see a continued bullish on Monday. I'm not sure what to expect, but definitely looking out for this setup. Next, we're looking at gold here. Let's remove all these. Now, gold is looking just to continue higher as well for the rest of the week. But we need to find a good entry point in 1855 through 1850. Seems to be where the retest is going to come from. On the right side chart is the daily time frame, and the left is the 4 hour. So this was last week's high before we broke through on Friday for NFP and tapped into a major area of supply and previous structure right here. So we most likely will see a pullback, and as you can see, we have a strong bullish candle in the daily time frame. There are entry areas we can look at. 1840 and 1850 is what I believe it's going to be, where these blue lines are. Pull back like this. This would be a perfect retest. You can see it on the daily time frame on the right. And then we might get a move up to 1880 and possibly 1900. 1900 may come later in the week on Tuesday, or most likely Tuesday. There's a lot going on Tuesday, so it's very possible. And if we don't get a reaction from 1855, then 1850, 1840, this little area, 1850, 1840. I know that's 100 point or 100 pip range, but that's where it's at. If we go down to lower time frame, you'd see just a wick in that area on the 2 hour. Might come down a wick fill this area. Have some candle closures in this little zone down here. We could make it a zone, but something right here is where I think price is going to react from strongly. Yeah, and this would be a perfect retest. 1850 is nice psychological level 2. Really just looking at 1850 though. It could happen from 1855, but there's more confluence down here than there, and we can actually refine this like such, so it doesn't look so big, but that is our point of interest though. Alright, what's this say? Yep, cool. Alright. Yeah, that's all I really see for gold. We should extend to 1900, possibly 1914. It's just going to continue its bull run. I mean, it had no business taking sells last week down here, but it is what it is. We should just get nice continuation moves, and if you apply the fibs on here, we're going to get nice extension targets, which are 1895, 1880, which I was just saying 1880 and 1900. It's going to definitely blow past 1895 and try to attempt 1900. But yeah, we got a lot of confluence for both these setups. These are very high probability. We just got to execute right on them and not enter with too much size on the first attempt, or if we don't get stopped out, not enter too much size on the first entry point, because we don't want to ruin this good setup. And last week, missed out on some really good trades, so gonna be watching those like a hawk. All right, and we're gonna go into Audacity and USD CAD real quick, and then we'll end the call there. After that, I think I'm gonna put the full thing on YouTube and try and start doing that now, but it'll still be posted on Instagram. Okay, let's extend this some. This was this last week's low? Yeah, so this is last week's low, this is last week's high. Audacity was looking very nice, but right here in this area during NFP it was confusing, but it was because it was low volume and consolidating. But it reacted from that area. You actually pointed out, Josh, on, I forgot what day it was, but you drew the arrow forward and everything, and that's exactly the exact spot it came from. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, that was a nice trade.
Yep. PMH above weekly high. What is PMH? Previous month's high. Is it really? Let's take a look. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's ready to pop. It breaks that, it's gonna move up 699 and possibly 71 this week. Yeah, if it breaks that monthly high, it's just about to go. Good for pointing that out. This is, yeah, that's good to know. Okay, I'm gonna mark that off. Take off this zone right here. Yeah, that is very important. Very, very important. That's going to trigger the breakout. All right, so let's go back. But yeah, as you can see on the weekly time frame, look, it's so super bullish. There is where this blue line is right here. Let me straighten some of these out. All right, where this blue line is on the weekly time frame. Let me add one more right here. Where the candle opened. I think right in this spot would be a really good area for buys. And if you look at the weekly time frame, it looks like it might just wick down and tap 681, 680, 682. And 680 is a good psychological level. That could be where the reaction comes from, which is where this blue line is. But based off the weekly time frame, 682 is where it is on the candle. So let's go to the daily. Same thing as gold. Yeah, and here's where that line is that I had. Yeah, 6.8. This little zone right here should be the money spot for entries for the buy. This little area. It could go a little bit lower, probably not down here. Might go a little below this blue line, which would also be, what type of retracement would that be? Apply the fibs and look at the retracement levels and the extensions. That blue line is at 50%. The negative, the 61.8 is just below it, so we could just get a strong little push down, little wick right onto it. But the 50% level is also important, which is where the blue line is, and then 682, which is 38.2. So I'm really seeing the 50% level most likely might get respected, but it could go a little more than that. Either way, this little zone is a 40. Let's adjust this. A 40 pip range, so we gotta wait for the rejections. But either way, this is a really good setup. You can target 692 right there. Stop loss. You could have it down here or slightly below here because we know that the reaction most likely is coming from here. Have a nice 2.5 hour trade, possibly even more, possibly 3 hour if you target this level up here. If there's enough volume, it's going to push up to here and go past the negative 27. But if there's not, then it's going to be come back for a reaction and retest this area, retest the previous month high, retest this resistance, and then continue higher. Yeah, here's the arrows. Oh. Yeah. Should get a move right into this area. Nice continuation trade. Be watching this. Definitely be watching this one. But yeah, just based on how we closed, not a strong bullish close. Definitely looks like a pullback's gonna happen. But 682, 6800, possibly a little lower. But I'm gonna set an alert here and here. And if we don't catch the low, once price is confirmed bullish and makes a higher low, this would also be a good entry point. You can literally just buy as it's moving. Instead of trying to buy the higher low point, you can buy the push phase and have minimal drawdown would be the ideal situation on this. So this is a good trade. This is a really good trade. We got 3 very solid setups coming up this week, and let's see if there's anything else I could add. Could add a trend line right here. Gives a little more confluence to that area. Need to clean it up some, but it's essentially what it is. I don't really like it, so we're gonna take it off. But yeah, watch these areas, and I will send the annotated charts here after this like normal, so you'll be able to refer to that. On USD CAD, completely naked chart, so let's see. Lower high on the weekly time frame, very clear. It's going to be a clear bearish continuation. So let's see, we have some swing targets we can look at, and let's take a look at this. Oh yeah, it might. It honestly might. That's what I was saying earlier. Since it's Monday's an extension of last week, we really might just push higher without a pullback, similar to like how we opened on Tuesday. Everything just shot up right at Asia Open. No pullback, just impulse higher, and I don't believe it.
That's what I'm afraid for the indices too, man. It's just going to shoot up.
Yeah, it did. It didn't give it a good entry point either. Yeah, here it is back. This is what NAS 100 did. Opened right here, just hit that negative 27, and then had a steep retracement before it finally took off again. And yeah, Audacity did something somewhat similar until it came down and made that higher low. But on gold, where was that low point that it made? Where did we open on gold? Yeah, we opened right here on gold. Came all the way down and shot up. But opened with no wick as well. Just literally pushed up and didn't come back down till the next day. Next New York Open on Tuesday. So we may get something like that again. A lot of people might be thinking that it sells and then it pushes higher before we get that wick down. Yeah, it's hopefully we get these pullbacks, but they really might just gap higher and continue higher, especially right where they're at. Well, Audacity specifically. And actually gold can too. This could be a break and retest of supply slash support. Could be a nice perfect retest and continue. We're gonna have to see. If we don't get a pullback, that's going to be a little difficult to maximize on these trades. So we really need that pullback to get those optimal entries. I think we will just have to be patient. Just have to be patient. Yeah. USD CAD. We have swing targets here based off the weekly. If you put the fibs like this at 1.36, 1.306, and down here as well. These line up with the structure points pretty well. They're just slightly above, but they line up pretty well. If we go to the daily time frame, you can measure this candle as well to see where we might go for the intraday. Yeah, so we may be targeting this level of structure here. Both of these extensions are right in between this area, so this is a high probability area where price is going to go. So 1.338 and 1.33. So from this would be a 65 pip move from the current price where the candle closed, and this would be a 110, 120, about 110 to 140 pip move if it hits the full extension target. But if we look at the oh, this is the 2-day. But yeah, if we look at the daily time frame, we can see it maybe wants to retest as well because it broke this low point right here at 1.348. Could get a pullback, and actually, hang on, this little area could be the money spot on CAD as well, right through here, and that would be 61.8 level, 38.2 right in here. I think the wick's going to happen from. It might just pull back to right here, which is a 23.6 retracement, would just be continuation, which would mean there's a lot of pressure, a lot of momentum, which would be similar to what we were just saying with Audacity and the indices. But if it does get a steep enough pullback, this trade could go for, if we go to 38.2 level down to here, 150 pip move. Yeah, this is a 120 to 150 pip move. If we target this low right here, slightly above the extension target, where we have confluence as well, this is 120 pips, and then right below it is 150. So this is a really good trade setup. It could look like this. We get it. And if you look at the 4-hour, right here is the lower time frame breakish structure. So it really does look like we might just come back in and test that. And let's see. This is almost a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward. But depending where you enter, this could be 2R, 2.5R, depending where you get your stop loss at and where the entry point is. Yeah, this could be a nice little setup though. May retest 1.355, so I'm going to put an alert right there just because that is risk structure broke on the lower time frame. Could hit that. So we may see something like this. Continuation down. Or something like this. Slight pullback and continuation. But I'm still seeing this deeper retrace across most of these pairs. Well, actually all these pairs, I see this deeper retrace, but the fact that they just broke major points, almost all of them, here on CAD we broke structure as well to make a new lower low. It's possible that we just keep pushing. So if that's the case, then we most likely will not be able to catch these moves unless we go with the price action and try and scalp it and take what we get. Yeah, there's a lot of low volume candles here on the lower time frame as well. We'll see what happens. But it is possible they just continue. But all right, that is it for the Zoom call though. We have some really good trades coming up this week. Look out for Audacity and USD CAD signals, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this week. Definitely going to come in here pretty strong and try and catch some of these good moves. Yeah, USD CAD just looks really clean though. All across the board. Got some good moves. Yep, absolutely, my friend. Yeah, I'll have the charts sent in whenever I get them done. And yeah, let's get it this week. Looking forward to the week. I agree. All right, have a good let's see, evening for you, Adarsh, and good afternoon almost for you, Josh. And yeah, we're gonna get after it this week. Looking forward to it. All right, talk to you guys soon. Peace.